Hello, today is New Year's Day 2021. Happy New Year to everyone. Let's review our disclaimer, then go over our calls. This is my plan for Monday, the 4th of January 2021. As always, if we gap sharply in the undesired direction, the call is killed before the open. There's never a guarantee I'm right, so trade at your own risk. And my email is mejt.trades@gmail.com. We did have a few calls. We had some targets in the middle 3700s and those targets printed. There's a new target for Monday, 3733.34. And unless we gap up and take out today's high promptly, that's my call for Monday. Now we did call for the pattern with the early high. This is it. The early high is right on time. The last hour lows right on time. And the counter trend rallies right on time. So that's a very clear early high pattern. Normally it's a negative pattern, and let me just come back here. Normally when it rallies instead, further gains are going to be coming, and the only thing that would kill it would be to undercut these lows fast. So if we gap under these lows, it doesn't count. Otherwise, we should see higher prices Monday. It doesn't mean this lower target won't print, 37, 33, 34. It doesn't mean you go up right from the open, but it's a positive pattern. And in addition, we had 2.5 days of dropping right from the open. We were never able to take out the prior lows. And then we have a new rally here to an all-time high. So that's pretty positive action, which is tempered by the fact that MEJT says it's not the real thing, and we're going to retrace significantly from where we closed. Well, here's what we said. These are the calls for the patterns for this next week. And it says Happy New Year. Well, let's go over what happened on Thursday. Early on, we got a MEJT buy signal plus an ultimate buy signal, and those obviously worked. But we also said there was a very high likelihood of seeing lower prices too, and that also worked. All these squiggles were called as false, and it now says that rally's false, gives us our target. Year ends when you typically review how you did. We had 7 standard and 1 ultimate target, which didn't print in 2020. I'm not counting the target from New Year's Eve because we don't know if that'll print within its preferred time frame Monday or not. So I might have to add one number to this list. The failed targets all clustered. We have 1, 2, 3 weeks here, a 4th week back in March, and we have the ultimate target was in a 5th calendar week. It's kind of an unusually large number for the MEJT system is this unsatisfied ultimate target. Let's see how uncommon that is. Well, I came up with the system in the summer of 2002, so it's now 18 and a half years old. We get about 150 ultimate and 500 standard targets every year. They aren't all tradable, but they do give us targets. We have one unsatisfied ultimate target this year. The last one we had was 2016, and to find the next one you have to go all the way back to 2013. Doesn't mean this target 2768 is going to print tomorrow. Doesn't mean it'll print anytime soon, but it does mean about 2,800 targets, just a small fraction haven't printed. It does mean it's very likely to print it sometime. We had only 7 targets over 5 weeks, counting the week for the ultimate, which didn't print in this last year. To find the last one, you have to go back to 2016. Before that, you have to go back 2 more years, 2014. So it's pretty uncommon for this to stay unsatisfied forever. But it was in the the winter spring drop that we satisfied targets from way back in 2017. So if it doesn't print right on time, it's not a precise timing device. We are at resistance in spite of Friday's positive action. These are the Gann fan lines on the monthly chart. These things go back to, I guess, 2007, 2009. You connect that low and that low, you get this high. So we're at strong resistance here. You can break through. If you gap over this, gapping over resistance is the best way to beat it. If you gap through that, I don't know how high we're going to go. Just be aware we're at resistance. We also have a trend line from this low and this low and all these lows. We're right at the trend line. And we previously came up with a price target in the middle 3780s. And these lines meet on Tuesday, January 5th. So we have strong time and price targets, resistance targets, at about 37.85 on Tuesday. That doesn't mean it has to print, and it doesn't mean it has to hold if it does. But if that prints, and if we change course right from there, it makes a pretty picture. So we'll just pencil in to watch that price and that time. We have mixed signals for Monday. These are my calls for the patterns for next week. We use these rules. Here they are. Monday's pattern has the early low. Typically, it's a bullish day with a final hour high, but if there is early weakness, usually there's additional weakness in the subsequent days, even if we get the normal rally the rest of the day. Now, it's positive that we had drops from the open for 2.5 days in a row, and we still couldn't undercut the prior lows. And that was confirmed when we hit a new all-time high, so that's positive stuff. We had a pattern Thursday, which normally is negative, and you rally instead. It should lead to higher prices if not promptly reversed. The equity-only put-call ratio is over its upper Bollinger Band. It shows public pessimism. And one of the reasons I've been cautious here is public optimism, which for a longer-term perspective is still true. You've got too many bulls and too few, that's among the retail crowd and among the professionals. Insider selling is high and insider purchases are very low. So all that's negative. But at least for Monday, we have too many puts being purchased by the public. We have the NASDAQ McClellan oscillator. It traded under its lower Bollinger Band, then reversed back over it, and that's typical of a low, not of a high. What is negative is we have a lower MEJT target. Unless we gap and promptly overtake Thursday's high, we should see that number Monday. There's a wall into the close. It could represent tax-related trades. If that's what it is, we'll gap down and reverse it right at Monday's open. If that's what it is, we don't know that yet. Many indicators are less reliable at this time of the year because of tax-related trading. Be aware of that. It's an old adage on Wall Street, the first 5 trading days of the new year tell you what will happen the rest of the year. It's less widely known. Market action the first 1 to 2 trading days often is reversed completely during the remainder of the first week of trading. So I can't say for certain what will happen. What I'd like to see is I'd like to see us drop early Monday, hit 37, 33, 34, rally the rest of the day, hit the middle 37.80s on Tuesday, and then change course. But I'm certain that's not the only way to read the pattern. It's just something that's a possibility. For right now, we'll say we're looking for the pattern with the early low. We have our lower target. We have strong time and price. The area of resistance not too far from where we stand now. And that's Monday's call.